We are witnessing the greatest introduction ever made, or that will ever be made, of a dinosaur in a movie. A roar in the darkness and rain changed cinema forever. We will travel to the wild heart of Jurassic Park. But first, get ready to uncover the wildest secrets behind its dinosaurs. But would you believe me if I told you that everything started years earlier, when Steven Spielberg discovered a story so powerful that he instantly knew it had to be his?
Steven, of course, saw this as soon as it came out and called me. He was very complimentary about it. I was in Japan.
It was 1990 when Michael Crichton was writing the novel, and he showed it to Steven, who immediately convinced Universal Pictures to buy the rights.
I made a fool of myself. I fell all over myself to make this movie in front of Michael. Doing everything but getting down on my knees and begging him, because I loved the idea of, DNA and dinosaurs.
What kind of park is this?
Maybe when you first watched the movie, or even now, you thought the dinosaurs were entirely CGI, but the reality is not exactly like that.
The next idea I had was to go to the great physical effects maestros in town.
The artistry of getting these dinosaurs to look real is absolutely the most important first step.
Even after more than 30 years, the film has aged beautifully, thanks to its groundbreaking special effects. But how did they achieve it?
The sculpture is finished, the molds are taken from that, and from those molds the skins are made. Those then go on to the robotics and animatronics that have been built in a parallel process. So you have the robotics, which are your skeletal structure and muscles, and then your skins, which are pulled from the molds that go over those animatronic and robotics of these dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs were not just stiff sculptures. These independent movements were achieved through a combination of animatronics and internal mechanical effects.
Gas-powered Jeep. I can drop her at the visitor center before I make the boat with the others.
Great.
We will soon discover how the most terrifying creature of the movie, the T-Rex, was created. But first, let us explore the evolutionary leap of CGI.
It's a dinosaur.
One day I got a call from Dennis Muren at ILM, who already had the job of doing Jurassic Park with Phil Tippett. And Dennis said that he thought that he could pull off a full-size dinosaur that would be authentic to the eye. And so he started doing tests. And the first tests he did was a whole herd of Gallimimus, just the skeletal structure of the Gallimimus, running through a still photograph of Hawaii.
Were they aware they were revolutionizing movie special effects?
Several angles of this. And it was so authentic and smooth, I actually said, well, that's the future. That's the way it's going to be from now on.
Although the main theme of the film is the dinosaurs, they only appear for about 15 minutes, of which around 6 minutes are CGI. But that was enough to revolutionize movie technology.
It's overwhelming, John.
And it is more than fair to say so, because the team created a brand new software called ViewPaint, which allowed realistic textures to be added to the digital dinosaurs. All this technology did not exist before Jurassic Park. But not everything in the movie was designed strictly following paleontology.
Oh, nice boy. Oh, nice boy. Nice.
Was this dinosaur a mistake by Spielberg or one of his own inventions?
No, he didn't do that at all. I invented that dinosaur. That was my own original invention. I wanted a dinosaur that spit venom, but when he spit venom, he hooded like a cobra. And the hood, I wasn't satisfied to let him hood. I needed the hood to shake. Kind of like, just flap like a flag.
Even though this dinosaur is not particularly large, it is perhaps the scariest. Speaking of scary scenes, there is the raptor kitchen sequence.
I didn't want these kids attacked in the jungle. I wanted these kids being attacked in the world of the familiar.
That moment in the kitchen is incredibly tense because it shows the dinosaurs not only as wild animals, but also as highly intelligent creatures. That detail of the claw tapping the ground is brilliant, adding even more tension to the scene. Almost as if the animal is telling the audience, "It is only a matter of time before I eat them." Since the velociraptors had much more independent movement in these shots, you might think they were entirely CGI, but they were not.
The raptor was real personal for me. I was in a suit, as Crash was too, but I'm the one that comes into the kitchen and it hoots for the other one to call, and then Crash comes around the corner.
Were people really inside the raptors?
John Rosengrant and I were both, tucked inside these things, and it was exhilarating but torture at the same time. It was kind of scary because there's that claustrophobic kind of feeling, and there's a little monitor in your face, and that would go out, and so you'd be blind and just kind of hoping you're doing the right thing.
However, there were movements the stunt performers could not physically do.
But when we had events happen, like when the raptor had to leap up onto the counter, that was where we knew that if we could somehow find that motion in computer-generated graphics, it would look that much more real.
Spielberg was brilliant at creating an iconic scene with a simple vibration.
I was at work, and Steven calls into the office, and he goes, "I'm in the car, Earth, Wind, and Fire is playing, and my mirror is shaking. That's what we need to do." He goes, "We need to do that. We need to shake the mirror, and then I want to do something with the water."
Although it sounds simple, achieving it was not easy, and the way they did it is surprising.
And finally, messing around with a guitar one night, I set a glass and started playing notes on a guitar and got to a right frequency, a right note, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do.
And with this ingenious idea, Spielberg introduced the main dinosaur of the film. Surely Spielberg must have thought,
"Boy, do I hate being right all the time."
After this cocky moment from the director, let us find out how the greatest beast of Jurassic Park was built.
That small fifth scale sculpture that you saw was the basis of these parts and components that you see now. We took the fifth scale, which was sculpted, and then it was cut like so many loaves of bread, if you can imagine that. Each piece was then numbered, and then the parts are cut out so that they can fit over the structure, the metallic structure that's going to support these pieces. So it's basically like constructing a hull of a ship. You see 15, 16, so on and so on.
As we have seen, the T-Rex had both digital and physical scenes, like the shot when it attacks the Jeep with the kids inside. The rain you see was not planned, but Spielberg thought it would add more drama to the scene.
Nobody knows. And I don't want to find out. And I said, well, Stan, this sequence will be so much better in the rain because we won't see the T-Rex that well. It'll be in the car. There'll be water running down the windows. The T-Rex will look into the window.
However, being a physical sequence, the dinosaur malfunctioned due to the water.
When the T-Rex was suddenly actually shaking the way you shake when you're cold, and the T-Rex would actually just sit there and vibrate like that. And suddenly all of Stan's kids would run in with big chamois he used at the car wash.
The fact that the nearly 6-ton T-Rex broke the roof was also not part of the plan. The children's reaction was completely genuine. Now, let us talk about probably the most intriguing aspect of Jurassic Park, the mighty roar of the T-Rex. How do you create the sound of something that no one has ever heard?
All the main dinosaurs are usually a combination of different animals that provide different elements of the sound. So the T-Rex roar is layered, different animals taking care of different pitches.
Exactly which animals?
The deep elements are crocodiles and lions. I wanted to not use lions because they're cliche, but you gotta use lions. Lions have that great attack. But the key individual sound for the T-Rex roar that we found was a baby elephant. He did the most amazing screech.
Jurassic Park is a masterpiece that combined revolutionary technology, flawless storytelling, and prehistoric creatures. to create an adventure that still roars in cinema history. Well, that has been all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and had a great time. If you did, do not forget to subscribe.
Don't get cheap on me, Dodson.
Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.